Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode we are talking about Alex Barnes, the running back from Kansas State, in terms of his analytics profile. So I've already done a video on Alex Barnes in terms of his production data, but this video is now going to take his athleticism data, his production data, and give a final say on what Alex Barnes is at the next level, or potentially could be at the next level. So if you're new to the channel and new to the work that I do, all terms and definitions will be in the description. And with all that stuff out of the way, let's get to his profile. So first off, he had an 89.18 market share production score. Great production. Doesn't really hit the All-Pro score, but does hit above the Pro Bowl area. 5-time Pro Bowl, 3-time Pro Bowl, and he does hit at least the bottom end threshold in terms of All-Pro potential. But when you look at the averages at the position, which is really what I was trying to say, was that he doesn't really hit above the All-Pro average. He is very close though, but he does also hit above the Pro Bowl average and the starter average. So overall, Alex Barnes has a great production score. His market share production is fantastic. It's the best in this class, realistically, compared to every other wide receiver except for Stanford, of course, in terms of Bryce Love. But of course, Bryce Love is having a lot of issues this year because of injury and other sort of factors. But it's still a great production score. Alex Barnes is fantastic in terms of his production. And when it comes to his athleticism, fantastic as well. Had a 94.58 explosion score, 63.79 speed score, and 90.89 flexibility score. All those marks hit at least 179 or higher athleticism score, which when you're talking about the running back position, you want to have at least one of those scores in order to have All-Pro or Pro Bowl potential for the majority of running backs at the next level. So, and he has that. He hits at least one of those scores of 79 or higher. So he has Pro Bowl, All-Pro athleticism, if that makes any sense. So when it comes to the running back position, which is great, very fantastic for him. And also added the averages for the different positions. So the average for All-Pro, Pro Bowl, and starter are all here as well. Just to have at your leisure, if you will, at the position. When it comes to production comp, so this again is a new thing I'm doing this year, is basically giving you a production comp and an athleticism comp. When it comes to a production comp, I know this is a lofty comp to make, but it was just there, was Eddie George. Just to give you a perspective on how productive Alex Barnes was, his market share was pretty much in line with Eddie George. Now, I will say this much. Eddie George did play a stronger strength of schedule at Ohio State, but he still produced in a similar fashion to Eddie George. And I also put Eddie George here just because size-wise they're very similar. Alex Barnes is a big back, and Eddie George is a big back. So production-wise, they're very similar in that regard. And when it comes to athleticism comp, this is where I think things kind of need to be bring back to home a bit. The athleticism comp for him is Michael Cox, running back from Massachusetts. Very similar in terms of having a strong explosion score, strong flexibility score, and a less than ideal speed score. Because the thing about Alex Barnes is that his speed is good, it's above average, but it's not fantastic. His explosion and flexibility scores are better than his speed score. Which doesn't mean you're going to be a bad back with that. It just means that you have to evaluate him based on his overall skill set. He's someone that would probably fit better in a ZBS scheme than a power scheme in that regard. Because he's not going to be outrunning people. He needs to be in sort of a scheme where he can utilize his explosiveness and his flexibility to the best sort of level. So overall, though, when it comes to Alex Barnes, he's realistically going to grade out to have the best profile in the class on paper, if you will. Film-wise, he's not fantastic on film. Alex Barnes doesn't blow you away in terms of his film. He's not someone that you put on the film and you instantly go, wow, he's amazing. He's the top back. He's just not that type of guy. But I do think that Alex Barnes is someone that, like a Jordan Howard, like a Alfred Morris even, like a guy like that, could get into the right situation and become the best back production-wise compared to other backs. So while he'll never really be a elite running back at the next level, like I just don't see Alex Barnes becoming an elite running back at the next level, I do think he's someone that can become a starter. And I think if you're a team that thinks you can find running backs anywhere, because I mean Alex Barnes I think clearly is sort of a day 2 pick at this point, then I think you're gonna get a lot of value out of him there. And if you get him day 3, even better. So again, when it comes to Alex Barnes, I mean, I'm someone who watches the film and looks at the production data, and I think film-wise, it just doesn't really sync up with how great his data is, and because of that, I think you have to take that into account. You have to look at the data and put it within context of the film. And in this case, Alex Barnes is the best data running back on paper, but again, that doesn't mean that he's the top back, if you will, or at the very least, it doesn't mean he's going to have a better career than everybody else. I mean, that's more likely going to happen based on data, but I do think you have to take into account the film, and it would not surprise me if another back who's less athletic but productive, like a Darrell Henderson, for example, or even a David Montgomery, or any number of backs in this class, could have a better career and just become outliers compared to Alex Barnes. But I do think you do need to recognize that he still has a profile worthy of being a day 2 to day 3 pick. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification bell in case you want to be reminded when another video of mine drops. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.